On set now for further insight on that meeting, we have Herzog, Chief Economist at BDO Israel. Thanks as ever for being with us today.
Hello.
Well, this meeting ended over the weekend largely as many analysts expected with no deal. What led to that conclusion?
Well, actually, OPEC's decision not to reduce quota is an admittance in the part from OPEC that they are no longer an influence on the market. They are no longer an effective cartel. OPEC as an oil cartel is dead. And ironically, the reason for its demise is its own success in the previous decade. So it's an issue here of self-destruction. OPEC was so successful in keeping oil prices high that it encouraged development of alternative oil producing technologies, mainly shale oil. And now, one day, OPEC woke up and found out, and mainly Saudi Arabia woke up and found out, hey, we're not the largest producer of oil in the world anymore. The US has suppressed them.
Interesting. So, largely enough, will this be the era of cheap oil?
Well, to understand where oil prices are going, we have to understand the oil production cost. And the current price, $40 per barrel, does not represent the ongoing cost of producing oil. If we want to see where oil is coming to in the future, it has to come from shale oil. And the break-even price of producing oil from shale oil is estimated at about $60 to $70 per barrel. So under this cost, producing oil is not economically. Those fields that were already being developed will continue to produce. But in the medium term, over a period of 2 to 3 years, no more wells will be built unless prices go up beyond this level of $60 to $70.
Interesting point here. We did see the Venezuela negotiator leave this meeting livid. Who were the winners and who were the losers out of this meeting?
Well, if you want to understand who are the winners and losers in terms of oil prices going down, the obvious losers are the oil-producing countries, countries like and exporting countries, countries like Saudi Arabia, which practically all its state budget is based on oil revenues, countries like Russia, and countries like Venezuela, where 50% of the budget comes from oil revenues. And the clear winners are the consumers that will now have cheaper oil, cheaper gas at the gasoline station, and your next vacation will be cheaper because you could have cheaper air freight.
Well, let's look at some of the alternatives here we have with the U.S. Do you expect them to produce more oil, or they don't really have a need now with the low prices, right? Well,
the U.S. is expected to become oil independent by 2020, within 5 years. But in order for them to reach that, the prices need to go up to justify the production of shale oil. So that's why we see the market going up to $70 or more per barrel.
Right. And earlier in the year, we saw Christine Lagarde of the IMF warning these Gulf nations that they really have to turn to alternatives. They have to find other solutions for their economy. What do you expect will happen here with these incredibly low oil prices?
Yeah, it's really a matter of those governments are so dependent on oil that basically the declining oil price also strengthens their political stability. And it's a threat to the stability of their regimes and perhaps to the world. So but the ability to transform the economy, like Saudi Arabia, like Venezuela, which was addicted to oil, to another source of income, doesn't come instantly.
Right. Well, it'll be very interesting to see what happens in the next few years. Thanks as ever for being with us, Chen Herzog. Moving on.